say training camp is where you win fights, but for Shedeur Sanders, the battle started way earlier. While other new players were chilling, Shedeur was out on a field, wearing his full Browns outfit, with his helmet on tight, shoulder pads fitted, and jersey snug, throwing passes like it's game day. Not to show off, not for attention, but for his future. This wasn't some cool social media video. It was real, focused, the kind of hard work most players keep secret. But when it's seen, it makes everyone in football stop and stare. Because honestly, no new player does this unless they already believe they're the main guy. Shedeur wasn't just practicing throws in the hot July sun. He was picturing himself as the leader. He was imagining being in charge of the team, making plays, earning respect, and he was doing it when nobody was watching. But here's the crazy part. Some people don't want to cheer for him. They act like his effort doesn't matter. They say he's not good enough yet, like they've already decided he can't do it. Maybe it's because he's Deion Sanders' son. Maybe it's because he's different from what they expect. Or maybe they're just nervous he might be better than the players they've been talking up for ages. Either way, the clock is ticking. And the video of him working, it tells the truth. Shedeur Sanders isn't just on his way. He's already here. Some moments say more than words ever can. When a video popped up of Shedeur Sanders throwing passes in his full Cleveland Browns gear, helmet, jersey, pads, everything, you could feel what he was saying in every second. This wasn't just practice, it was a big deal. While most new players were relaxing in the summer, Shedeur was super focused, sweating buckets on a private field at his dad Deion's house. He wasn't just working on his steps or throws. He was imagining himself as the top quarterback. Let's be real. How many first-year players put on their whole uniform and practice like it's a real game before training camp even starts? That's super rare. That's thinking like the best of the best. That's what the greatest players do when no one's around. But guess what? You won't see this on the big sports channels. You won't hear experts talking about how much effort it takes to practice in full gear weeks before camp. Why? Because it doesn't fit the story they want to tell. For those who want to call Shedeur a spoiled kid who only got here because of his dad's name, this video makes them squirm. It messes up their simple story because here's a 22-year-old guy working while the rest of the league is taking a break, not chilling on a beach or a fancy boat. When you step into the Cleveland Browns quarterback room, it's not just four guys trying to get one job. It's one of the trickiest team setups in football. There's Joe Flacco, the older guy who won a Super Bowl. Kenny Pickett, the local kid the Steelers didn't want. Dillon Gabriel, the college star with good publicity. And then there's Shedeur Sanders, the one who stirs things up. Because just him being there shows the flaws in how teams pick their players. From the outside, it sounds simple. Shedeur's new, he has to wait. But look closer and you see what's really going on. Practice time is like money in the NFL. It decides who gets a chance and how people see you. And before any preseason games even happen, the experts say the main practice time will go to Pickett and Flacco. It's a classic move. Give the older guys the best spots before the real work even starts. Control the story before the truth can change it. But that's where Shedeur shakes things up. He's not just some extra guy in camp. He's a quarterback who's played under pressure, led big comebacks in front of tough crowds, and made throws most new players can't even try. He's also the only one of the four who's clearly gone all out this offseason, putting on full gear and practicing like he's already on the team. Nobody gave him a fancy publicity team. Nobody handed him the best practice time. All he did was work hard. Here's the tough truth. If Shedeur's last name wasn't Sanders, and if he played it safe with the media, we might already be calling him the surprise of camp. But when you carry a big name and big expectations, and when you outwork everyone else, people start playing politics. This fight is just getting started. In every NFL training camp, there's a secret plan, a schedule for who gets to practice when and with which group. That schedule doesn't just help players get better. It shows what the team really thinks of you. Right now, Everyone's watching to see if Shedeur Sanders can break into that schedule and make people talk about him as a Browns quarterback. Not later in the season, but right now, Fred Gretham's report. Pickett and Flacco will likely get the main practice time when the older players show up on July 23rd. That leaves Gabriel and Shedeur fighting for the leftover time. On paper, Gabriel seems to have the advantage. He got more practice during earlier team sessions, but let's be honest, that's not because he's better. Gabriel is just the easier story. He doesn't cause drama or shake things up. That's the kind of player coaches can quietly put third without the media making a big deal about it. Shedeur, though, brings a lot of attention. So here's what to look for. Does Shedeur get any one-on-one practice with the second team in the first week? Do the coaches give him chances in important drills like scoring plays, quick offense, or tough third down situations? If he does, that's not random. It means he's making them notice him. And if he doesn't, it still doesn't mean he's behind, because Shedeur's practice videos don't lie, and his preparation is louder than any E. His steps are quicker, his movements are faster, and the fact that he's practicing in full Browns gear weeks before camp starts shows he's thinking ahead in a way most new players don't. He's not just ready for practice time, he's ready for a real chance. All the coaches have to do is stop pretending they don't notice. If training camp is where quarterbacks learn plays and try not to mess up, then joint practices are where you either shine or crash. The Cleveland Browns have two big tests before the regular season even starts. First, they'll practice with the Carolina Panthers. Then, with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champs. These aren't easy practice sessions. They're real challenges against tough, aggressive defenses that don't care who you are or where you were drafted. And for Shedeur Sanders, these could be the most important moments of his football career. Here's the deal. Flacco and Pickett will probably get the main practice time during these joy. That means facing the Panthers' top defense and trying to handle the Eagles' tricky moves. It's great experience for sure. But Shedeur might not get those chances during these planned practices. He'll have to prove himself the hard way, when the preseason games start and everyone's watching. On August 8th, when the Browns play their first preseason game, all the people who weren't paying attention before will be glued to their screens. Shedeur isn't just fighting for a spot, he's fighting to change everyone's expectations. These games will give him real plays, real drives, and real decisions under pressure, and he's more prepared than people think. Here's the truth the team might not say out loud. These joint practices are made for the older guys, but the games are for the hard workers. They're for the players who've been grinding quietly, watching game film when no one's around, throwing passes in full gear while everyone else is relaxing. That's Shedeur Sanders. And when he steps onto that field in a Browns jersey for real, the excuses won't hold up anymore. No one can say he's nervous or needs more time. The only thing that'll matter is the game tape. And if that tape looks anything like his backyard videos, someone's gonna have to explain why he didn't get a fair chance from the beginning. There's a tough truth about NFL camps most fans don't see. There's not enough practice time for everyone. With 4 quarterbacks all wanting attention, only one can play in the game. Every practice moment a veteran gets is one a new guy like Shedeur doesn't get. Every drill given to Pickett or Flacco is a missed chance for Shedeur to show his skills. And the Browns' schedule makes it even harder. Veterans show up on July 23rd, and the first preseason game is August 8th. That's about 10 real practices before the games start. Even if you split practice time evenly, which never happens, it's not enough to really judge everyone fairly. But that's not what's going down. Pickett and Flacco are set to get most of the main practice time. They're the safe choices, the ones coaches trust to run plays smoothly in drills. Gabriel will probably get the extra practice time. That leaves Shedeur with whatever's left. Maybe a few throws at the end of practice, maybe one scoring drill when everyone's tired. It's not just unfair, it's on purpose. It's how teams quietly push aside players they don't want to talk about. But Shedeur isn't your average rookie. He's the only one practicing in full gear weeks before camp. running his own scrimmages with no cameras, no coaches, no backup plan. That kind of effort doesn't show up on a team list, but it'll show up when the games start. When Shedeur gets real game moments against real defenses, he won't look scared. He'll look like he's been ready all along. What's wild is the Browns might be setting him up to fail without realizing they're also setting him up to shine. Because if Shedeur does great with just a few chances, the whole team will notice. And when fans start shouting his name, and they will, it won't be about practice time anymore. It'll be about what he does on the field. Being doubted as a new quarterback is one thing. Being judged extra hard because of your last name is another. From the moment Shedeur Sanders said he joined the NFL, people were ready to criticize him. Not because he wasn't good, not because he couldn't throw, but because he's Deion's son. That made him a challenge to the system. The same people who ignore other rookies' mistakes focused on every little thing Shedeur did wrong. They said he holds the ball too long. They said his throwing style is weird. They said his steps aren't fast enough. They didn't care about his awesome stats at Colorado. They ignored his calm, his smarts, his leadership. Instead of looking at what he's good at, they searched for things to complain about. That's not fair judging. It's trying to hold him back. And the worst part? They're not even sneaky about it. You don't hear them picking on Gabriel like this. You don't hear them talking about Pickett's ups and downs or Flacco's weaker throws with the same intensity. But with Shedeur, it's always some sneaky comment pretending to be fair analysis. Still, Shedeur stays quiet and keeps working. While they criticize his moves, he's out there picturing himself in a Browns jersey, practicing real plays with purpose, while others are sipping drinks on vacation. That's not being cocky, that's being driven. That's what legends like Brady and Breeze did when no one was looking. Worked hard with a point to prove. And let's not pretend this unfairness is random. There's a history in the NFL of black quarterbacks having to prove more than others, Jew. Add Deion's name, a bold, proud black coach who changed college football. And suddenly Shedeur's every move is a big deal. But Shedeur doesn't whine or argue. He just keeps working. And that quiet video from his backyard, it's louder than any critic's opinion. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't here to play games with politics. He's here to change the game itself. While everyone talks about the quarterback drama, the Cleveland Browns have bigger problems nobody's mentioning. The team isn't as strong as it seems. There are weak spots everywhere. The wide receivers are plenty, but not proven. The safeties didn't catch a single pass last season. The defensive tackles are good, but coming off injuries. And the offensive line? It's unclear how it'll work after losing some important players. So think about this. What kind of quarterback can step up and lead this team? Joe Flacco's been around, but he's not quick or steady enough to cover up problems. Kenny Pickett's still unsure after Pittsburgh let him go. Dylan Gabriel's got talent, but no experience. And then there's Shedeur Sanders, cool under pressure, humble even with all the attention, and already preparing like he's the leader. Leadership doesn't always come from the oldest guy. Sometimes it's the guy who's fought for everything. Shedeur's been doubted his whole life, even while piling up stats that would make others famous. He doesn't need to be the loudest in the room. He's already the most focused. And for a team that needs stability and heart, that's a big deal. Don't forget, this Browns team is still trying to prove itself after years of mess-ups. They brought in Deshaun Watson, hoping for a fresh start, but ended up with more problems and confusion. So when fans look for someone to step up, it might not be one of the older guys. It might be the kid working harder than anyone before the season even begins. While others wait for their chance, Shedeur acts like the job's already his. And maybe that's exactly what the Browns need. Not another backup, not another temporary fix, but a young guy with a vision, humility, and something to prove. Forget all the drama and the chatter. Ignore the boring talk about practice time and rookie schedules. What really matters is the effort. And Shedeur Sanders is putting in the kind of work that shuts down all the doubters. The video wasn't fancy. No music, no filters, no edits. It was just Shedeur in his full Browns gear, running drills in the hot sun at his dad's house, weeks before training camp started. That's not just practice. That's a way of thinking. That's someone who sees himself as the leader when others think he's got no shot. While the league takes a break, Shedeur keeps working. While the media makes guesses, he plans his future. He's not waiting for anyone to say it's okay. He's not waiting for people to like him. He already knows who he is. The question is whether the Browns and the NFL will catch up before it's too late. The preseason will be his time to shine. He'll face real defenses, take real hits, and make real decisions. And when he does, nobody will talk about his steps or how he holds the ball. They'll be wondering how he wasn't picked sooner. Because when the spotlight's on, when the excuses are gone, and when the passes fly, it won't be about his name or the politics. It'll be about how he plays. And Shedeur Sanders has been playing his heart out when nobody was watching. He's not just ready, he's been ready. This is Field Report. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with more football news.